Marisa, I wanted to speak to you on the subject of past negative conditioning. We get so many queries from youngsters or people who've been in abusive relationships or people who grew up, young kids who grew up in an environment where they were told it's not enough, money doesn't grow on trees, look at where you come from, don't have these huge ambitions. They're told, they're bombarded with all this information constantly. Is it possible to break out of that mental prison, or are we merely prisoners of our past and current conditioning? What would you recommend to someone who's been crushed under the weight of this negative conditioning?
I would say to people, because it's true, you make your beliefs and then your beliefs turn right around and make you. And then the world seems to mirror back what you have chosen to believe. I'll never amount to anything. If my own parents didn't love me, how could I be lovable? If I was meant to be a boy and I was a girl, and I was a huge disappointment to my father, therefore I'm never going to amount to anything. But you see, these are decisions that you have made. Right. And there are many people in the world who say, yeah, my parents wanted a boy and they got me. But I just thought, well, I must have been meant to be me. Mm-hmm. And so whatever beliefs you've been given by parents, and no parent says, hey, where's Google? Let me Google how to damage this kid for life. Many parents have had terrible parents. They do the best they can. It's often woefully inadequate. Right. But they very rarely mean it. Some do. The thing is, you have to look at it. Your life was a clock. A childhood is the first 10 minutes. You got 50 minutes left. Mm-hmm. You can't have the first 10 minutes the rest of your life. And so many of us are brought up with parents who go, don't ask, I want, doesn't get. We can't afford that. Stop showing off. Don't draw attention. People like us are never going to be anything. Who's going to listen to you? Mm-hmm. And when you're a child, you have no choice but to listen to that. But as you get older, you can say, you know what, I don't have to listen to that anymore. I can make my own beliefs. I'm going to believe something different. Like my grandmother's generation, where don't draw attention to yourself, never talk about periods.
Keep your head down, listen to instructions, follow instructions, don't question anything. Those are the good students. A good kids,
and then you have to just decide, okay, what's true is that your beliefs are yours to change. That's what your beliefs affect everything. Your thoughts affect how you feel. Your thoughts affect your feelings affect your actions affect your events. Everything starts with how you think. Right. But the very good news is your thoughts are yours to change. And if you have a thought and it's not a good thought, challenge it. Where did I get this from? Who told me that? Where does that even come from? It's impossible to find love when you're over 50. No one's going to want you if you don't look like a model. If you've got fat legs, if you're poor, guys are going to go, look, I see you on YouTube, but women like guys with cars and money, and how can I find love? But that may be true for me, but it's not true for everybody. Right. My gran used to say, every pan has a lid, and you're somebody's lid, and someone is your pan. And
every pan has a lid, right? Love that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you have to look at your beliefs, and you've got to really challenge them. And you must change. And in life, you'll hear things that are unkind, unfair, unjust, and untrue. But you always get the minute to say, am I going to let this in? Mm-hmm. I've heard many things in my life that were unfair, unjust, and untrue. Luckily, I remember hearing in my head one day, a voice saying, don't let that in. And that don't let it in has stood me in such good stead. And I still would think, well, I'm not going to let that in. And sometimes I said to people, actually, I'm going to stop you now because I'm just not going to let them. When I was 17, I remember a doctor saying to me, you'll never be able to have a baby. You could never carry a baby to full term. You're never even able to get pregnant. And I remember hearing that voice then saying, don't let that in. Mm-hmm. And I left, I'm not letting that in. And when I did get pregnant, I had many doctors saying, well, the baby's not going to go full term. If it is, it will have everything wrong with it.
Because it's going against your beliefs, your own beliefs, right?
Perfect baby in every way. And I remember thinking then, gosh, so glad I didn't listen to one of my clients. I remember her son is now 18 and she was having IVF, and I was helping her believe that she could make a successful embryo. And she called me and said that the doctor said to her, this embryo is not really viable. You should throw it away and let's start again. It's just not strong. And she said, what shall I do? And I said, what do you want to do? She said, well, I want to try. And I said, well, if you believe that, so if you know when the embryo goes into you, it's your baby and you can tell it to grow. It might be small, tell it to catch up. And I sometimes look at this boy who's now 18, strapping, gorgeous, handsome, and think, wow, they wanted to throw him away.
Right, because somebody else fed them with that belief.
It's a weak embryo, but it's you have immense power over your body too, to make your organs stronger, to make muscles stronger. You have so much power, but everything starts with your thinking. I mean, that's what the placebo effect is, that the effect of a drug on a human being has more to do with what you think about that drug than the chemicals contained in that drug. We know that. That's what the placebo, that's what the Pygmalion effect is too, that your beliefs. So our beliefs are immensely powerful, immensely, and they can make us or break us. But if they can make us or break us, you have to make a decision. Well, I'll pick the ones that make me then. I'm going to choose the good ones. It rather like one of my family members was saying that when cancer, the doctor said, there's only a 15% chance you're going to make this. And she went, well, I'll go in that 15% then.
I'll pick that.
I'll be in that 15%.
Right.
I'm in the 15%. I've decided I'm in that 15% because that's up to me, not you.
Yeah.
And so that's the point. People say, but isn't that just woo and positive thinking? Yeah. Yes and no. You see, positive thinking, thoughts have real physical effects. Every thought you think has a physical effect.
Indeed.
And emotional response. So if you say healing, I'm getting better, or I've got an 85% chance of not making it, you're going to respond to the thoughts, and your body will make chemicals and compounds and all kinds of things.
Right.
Think about it, all linked to the thoughts you think. So you might
support that internal belief, to validate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is great. In NLP, when I was undergoing the initial training of NLP, one of the first presuppositions came up that you're in charge of your mind, and therefore you're in charge of the results that you're getting from your life. And that's so basic, so simple, yet a lot of us struggle with that, through our internal battles, so many other things, that the constant internal chatter, which is contradicting sort of what you would like to achieve. And I think it's also beautiful what you spoke about, the placebo effect, Pygmalion effect. There were expectations. If it's a numbers game, the numbers are in my favor. That's what I say to myself. If it's about random chance, I like to believe that random chance is going to favor me. And somehow, in some mystical, spiritual way, did you know something interesting, by the way, Marisa? Your last name, if translated into the Indian language in Hindi and Urdu, it means a holy person. Did you know that?
Actually, Marisa Peer breaks down to I am a seer. So I love that, but I had no idea that a peer was a holy person.
Yeah, it is. We would pronounce it differently. We would call it peer. You call it peer. But a peer in the Urdu or the Sufi tradition would mean a holy person, someone who can heal and guide. And isn't that beautiful? So thank you for sharing.
I bet it's my husband, darling, I'm a holy person. So you've got to bow.
It does a credit. Yeah. Great.
You worship me now, darling, because I'm holy.
You're welcome, John. All right.